Fueled by Temperance Spirits, Edmonton's leading non-alcoholic beverage provider. Order online for doorstep delivery.
Welcome back to Game Over Edmonton, your local leader in post-game Oilers analysis. In this episode, it's fueled by Temperance Spirits, the city's leading non-alcoholic beverage provider.
Visit Temperance online for a curated section of non-alcoholic options. Choose from a variety of craft beers, mocktails, wines, and spirits.
Temperance isn't just a retailer. It's a community of Edmontonians who celebrate the spirit of socializing without the need for alcohol. And with Temperance Spirits online shop, ordering your favorite non-alcoholic bevvies right to your door is as easy as Connor scoring the winning goal.
You can find our partners at Temperance online at www.temperance-spirits.com for delivery to your door, and use the code SDPN for 10% off your order at checkout.
And give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at Temperance Spirits.
Oh boy, it's over, guys. The season's over. We're literally only 12 games in, and this is it. This is the end of the road. There's no coming back from this. We're the last team in the NHL now, right, Zach?
I don't even know what to say. I'm shaking. I'm shaking. There's already 184 people have tuned in to watch
194
us freak out
now.
And scream and cry. Please get your Dunkson in chat. There's 200 of you liking or watching. I hope you're liking. Hit the like, hit subscribe to SCPN, all that stuff, because holy fuck, I'm shaking. How the fuck did we end up here? Like, I understand you can make your jokes, and okay, obviously Ken Holland has been the Oilers GM probably 4 years longer than he probably should have. Like, obviously should never have been fucking hired. But Bob Nicholson, whatever. Like, I actually don't know what to say. Like,
how many people
believe that just happened?
How many people do you have to fire?
Believe that this just happened.
How many people would you fire in this organization to make yourself feel better? I don't think there's a number. I think
Holland has to go. Like, I need to see. I'm not looking at Twitter right now, but I need to see. I want people in the chat to let me know. I want to know when Elliot Friedman sends out the Ken Holland has been fired tweet. I need to know. You sick bastards, please join us. Thank you. Almost 250 of you watching. That's got to be a record. That beats anything we had in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
You sick bastards are playing on our downfall.
If you're out in the East Coast and it's like 2 a.m. for you or whatever the heck it is, and you're just here to watch two guys suffer, congratulations.
No,
you
this
did
is
it.
fucking atrocious. I don't understand how we got here. Again, it's the same fucking story. They can't score. They outchance. They outplay. They outshoot. They generate, but they don't finish. There's no effort for long periods of stretches. And every grade A chance the Sharks get ends up in the back of the net. Once again, if you look at Money Pocket again, there's a number of issues tonight. Like, obviously, goaltending isn't the main thing tonight. They isolated this game this season. But the San Jose Sharks just tied the Edmonton. The Oilers are tied for dead last in the NHL. In the entire decade of darkness, they never sat in 32nd place. Like, the Oilers are so far behind the pack. The season is over. Playoffs are a dream at this point. They need to go on a spectacular run. They looked lethargic. No one looked like they gave a shit. Like, I understand. For the last 4 minutes of the second period, we saw McDavid and Draisaitl create together. The fact Woodcroft even had to put those two together is ridiculous.
The
McDavid
fact you went nuclear option against the San
shoot.
Jose Sharks.
They were going nuclear option in the preseason. That should have been the fucking red flag. It should have been the red flag. I was stupid. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I thought they were going to be good. Everyone thought they were going to be good. This team was 17-2 last season after the trade deadline. This season, with the same roster, but minus Yamamoto plus Connor Brown minus Bukestad, Costin, whatever. Fourth line players.
Can't forget Devin
should
Score.
not be this bad. Like, they couldn't score on the Sharks. And I get Blackwood, again, 950. And you know what? When the Sharks bent, their goalie stood on his head. The only saving grace is, can they get a goalie? I don't even know if it matters. I don't know if a goalie could steal them enough games at this point to even make the playoffs. Like, you can hope and pray and to anyone you believe in that they figure out a way to, win 12 in a row and squeak in a wild card spot or whatever. And I know I've seen some people talking about, well, Vegas missed the playoffs the year before they won the Stanley Cup. But you know what Vegas did after they missed the playoffs? They traded for Jack Eichel. They made a monumental shift.
You know what they did?
Team fucking sucks.
They took a gamble. They got a guy who was going to go through experimental neck surgery, and that paid off for them dividends. But here's the situation. We got a guy who was coming off of a massive season-ending injury, and you know where he is right now? In Edmonton. He's relaxing. There's literally nothing you can do in this roster. There's no firing. You could fire Holland. You could fire Nicholson. There's nothing that will make me have faith in this season until I literally see them get into the playoffs. And even then, I've lost all faith in this Oilers team this entire season. Look at just every single night, the expected goals. Look at the deserve to win meter. The Oilers supposed to win every single game, but what does that matter?
Even according to private metrics like Sport Logic, the Oilers are generating something like the 5th most high danger chances in the NHL. No one's finishing. No one. They all look horrible. Like the passes, the first period, they had multiple opportunities to put this game in the rearview mirror. They could have gone up on the Sharks early. That power play, that first unit, lethargic, absolutely horrible. No one could make a pass. The play to Draisaitl, not working. The Bouchard at the point, not working. Connor McDavid refuses to shoot. Has to be heard. We are at 420 live viewers. Please, guys, hit like, hit subscribe. This is crazy. We're crushing viewing numbers.
You're all sick. You're all here to watch a meltdown. I can't believe it.
But let's just talk about the game for a bit before we talk about the bigger picture. But essentially, first period, they had their chances to put it away. They got nothing. The Sharks scored first. And when the Sharks scored first, it was over. It was done. This team has no bite. They're mental midgets. They don't bounce back from anything. I don't know who is wearing 97 and 29 right now. I love them from the bottom of my heart, but they don't look like even 1/8 of the players that they were through the last 8 years. I don't know what happened. I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless. Lethargic. They can't generate every. They outshot the Sharks. Sure, half those shots were fucking from the left point. Whether it was Matthias Ekholm, Brett Kulak, Darnell Nurse, garbage. Stat padding shots not good enough. This team fucking blows.
And here's the other thing too.
It's fucking. I don't understand.
Look, McDavid has a little bit of a pass. We'll give him some injury. Whatever it is, it's literally atrophying his wrists and he just can't shoot the puck anymore. Whatever injury he suffered early on in the season, okay, we'll give him a pass for that. Draisaitl started the season and we were saying he's looking like one of the best guys on this team. McDavid went down, Draisaitl went, okay, he's taken up a little bit more of the load. The games are just not flipping the Oilers' way. Tonight, Draisaitl was atrocious, and we've seen this slowly escalate. The amount of giveaways that he's been having.
I wouldn't put it on Draisaitl. I thought he was one of the better Oilers tonight. Now there's a few and far between, but if you look at like the natural stat or like money puck natural stat trick, Draisaitl, decent game. Holloway, Fogle, McLeod, like they generated. Fogle, I thought, had effort. This is a microcosm of the season. I'll tell you right here. First period, Oilers are on a power play. Connor McDavid, do the drop pass. Connor McDavid, he skates up the ice. What happens when McDavid tries to get in on the blue line? Usually he goes through people every single time. He tries to get
weaves right through.
Give away. William Eklund skates in, shorthanded breakaway. Wouldn't you know, stopped by Stuart Skinner. I thought the tide had turned. Nope. And that was a microcosm of the game. What did Connor McDavid have? I'm not even looking at the stats. 5-6 giveaways today. Like, he is so not okay. It's unbelievable. We've just crossed 500 live viewers. That is wild. I can't believe.
I can't believe how many people.
What the fuck to say.
You're all joking. This is the latest game in the NHL. This game started at 8:45, something like that, Mountain Time.
I'm broken.
Why are you all here? What?
Broken.
You all watched an Oilers game and decided, you know what? Yeah, let's watch the actual dumpster fire happen. I can't believe how many of you are here. Thank you for being here.
Let's try our hardest to just focus on the game. Let's try our hardest just for the next bit. If you're a team from another fan from another team, you come in here, whatever. Please get your dunks in. We deserve it. 2-9-1. This is worse than any start they had when Andrew Ference was the captain, when Ethan Moreau was the captain, when Sean Horkoff was the captain. They were running out Darcy Hordichuk and Ben Eager and still had a significantly better start and played with a significantly more amount of effort than this team. This is the worst Oilers team I have seen ever. It hurts so bad. Because this is the difference between this season and every other season. It's because there were no expectations. When they lose, it was fine. It is what it is. Here come the Oilers. Like, they suck. What are you going to do? You have Cam Barker as your top pairing defenseman, you know? Like, what else do you expect? You have two of the top 5 best players in the NHL at prior. And you can't. You can't.
Last season, 300 point, over 100 point players.
Darnell Nurse. As much as you want to rag on him, as much as you want, and I get it. Is he overpaid? Absolutely. Did he look atrocious tonight? I don't know what game Jack Michaels was watching. That first goal, awesome. Darnell Nurse looks off, who was it? Dylan Holloway on a 2-on-1 and shoots. Awesome goal from Nurse. We weren't even playing the Sens. Still scored 5-on-5 goal. Awesome. Right after that, I don't know what happened, and it's not even the next goal, but like the Sharks get the luckiest bounce off the. In the world. It
went off like Kulak's shin or something like that.
Right in the back of the net. Finishers.
Right to hurdle.
Finishers. And I don't know. The Sharks finished. The Oilers didn't. That's the difference. Vincent Desharnais looked garbage. Cody Ceci looked like garbage. Not NHL defensemen. Give me Max Lejeune, Simone Benoit every single day of the week over those bums. It should be on waivers tomorrow. Third goal that the Sharks scored by Philip Zadina. What the fuck was Darnell Nurse thinking? On the point. You're playing the Sharks in the fucking the embarrassment Super Bowl of the NHL. What are you thinking? What was that pinch? You have no pressure. You have no man back. He fucking does the stupid, selfish play once again. Every game, every goal is another fucking stupid mistake. Odd man rush, because and we know odd man rushes are guaranteed to end up in the back of the net because every odd man rush the Sharks got, they only got 3.
Every other team has finishers.
So I want to know why the Sharks. Who told Mackenzie Blackwood he wasn't able to stop? He could stop odd man rushes because Warren Fogle in the first period had an odd man rush, didn't pass to Raphael Lavoie, made the right decision. Honestly, I would have loved to see Raphael Lavoie score his first NHL goal.
Who told Blackwood to do his best Hasek impression?
Did his job. Who would have thought? I didn't know goalies could do that. Someone should have told him he can't stop a high danger chance. What is wrong with you? And if Darnell Nurse should have been, I want the same assholes that were in the scrum who were asking for accountability. Oh, you need to hold Evan Bouchard accountable. Darnell Nurse went out the next shift. No one said a fucking word. I didn't see a peep on Twitter. I didn't see anything. That play, that alone, horrible. Every time they had possession and they started generating something, it would end in a Darnell Nurse muffin. And it's so sad. We're watching this era. We just watched this era of Oilers hockey die. We just watched.
And here's the other thing too.
Of 97 and 29 die.
How many times did you see Nurse? Obviously horrible plays tonight, but how many times did you see just guys running into each other? These are Holloway and Ekholm from the first period were just running into each other constantly, twice on the same shift. Gagne laid out McLeod in the third period. There's so many times when the Oilers' worst enemy was not the Sharks, it was the Oilers players themselves. They were just getting into each other's way.
We've seen this every game, whether it's Kane running into McDavid, whether it's Draisaitl running into McDavid, whether it's Gagne running into McLeod. They're so out of sorts. No one knows what to do in the neutral zone. When they backtrack, it's all every man for themselves. I don't know what we're talking about, the system this, the system that. Maybe there is no fucking system. They look broken everywhere, up and down the ice. They're broken. They're lethargic. They do nothing. And no one looks like they fucking care. It doesn't make any sense. They showed a little bit of fight, a little bit of drive. We're talking, we're on the broadcast, we're talking about the Sharks. Oh, they're amazing. Oh, the Oilers aren't getting anything in front of the net. Oh, they're getting boxed out. This is Nikita Okhotiuk. This is
You could.
but
Yeah,
Mario
who
Ferraro.
are these players? Who's playing on the
These are
San Jose
creative
team?
players. Why they shouldn't be boxing you out? I don't care how good they could be running the best defensive position. The Sharks should not be able to have 6 skaters on the ice, and the Oilers should still have it in their defense zone. They shouldn't be struggling to generate for massive amounts of time, like 15 minutes for the second period, where they have like 3 shots. It's garbage. It's garbage fucking hard. It's atrocious. I don't know how the fuck they do it.
Like here's the thing, right? When you're looking at this Oilers team,
Bitching. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. Yeah, cancel the Oilers. Michael and Chad's right. I want to say what's up to everyone.
Here's the thing.
Actually, close to 600 live viewers. So
it is nuts, and it is amazing. I think 130 likes. What are we, like 17, 20 minutes, something like that into this broadcast?
I'm running out of energy. I'm
It's
gonna lose my voice.
I can't believe how many of you are here just to watch this, or watch us react to this dumpster fire. Okay, well, let's talk about you touched a point a little bit earlier. The Sharks have finished every single chance that they had. If you look at the expected goal situation, the Oilers have 4.26 expected goals. How many did we get tonight? 2. And one of those is off of an empty netter. Like, this is unacceptable, the amount of finish that this team is lacking. And the other side of it, like Skinner, I joked, right? What is worse than watching, Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell alternating night in, night out, both of them just absolute sieves, losing at the same time? Oh, you know what's better? Let's send Campbell down so that we can start both of them, so that we can watch both Soup and Stu absolutely let in 4 goals each. Like, it's insane. We brought up Calvin Pickard. We had a chat in our private little
I'm stunned.
It's
I'm stunned.
Unbelievable. You would bring him up.
Woodcroft. Sorry,
I just can't believe what this team is doing. So, the argument of it's the Sharks, let's send in Skinner, let's get him a little bit of confidence, let's win against the Sharks.
Stupid.
You're
so
2-8-1.
You're 2-8-1. You cannot be trying to get your fucking garbage goalie. This guy who since January 1st of last year has had an .895 save percentage. He has not been good. I understand he was an all-star. I would love nothing more than Stuart Skinner to come out and for the next 30 games give him a .920. I would love it. It is not going to happen. If he put up a .950 against the Sharks and the Oilers won, 4-1 tonight, would that change anything going forward? No, they gave you another option and you didn't use it. Calvin Pickard sat there on the bench and watched us. And I'm talking about Calvin Pickard like he's Carey Price. He's not, but he's not
the savior. But you know what he is? A change.
People are trolling about John Klingberg. I would love, give me John Klingberg over the sorry bunch of losers that we have currently on this blue line. I love Evan Bouchard. There was efforts that were atrocious from him. He's cutting back the Oilers on the power play. He falls down in his own zone, gives the Sharks an odd man chance. Like, we just crossed 600 viewers. I can't stop focusing on the view count. It's real tough. Unbelievably wild. You bunch of sickos. You crazy, you lunatics. But yeah, regardless, Darnell Nurse, that was horrible. Kulak, obviously, RNH to the box in the third period. Your leadership, the guys who should be putting this team on the back. RNH, 2 penalties in the third. And outside of 7 minutes, kind of the last 3 minutes of the third, McDavid and Draisaitl weren't even on the ice when the Oilers scored the goal with the extra attacker, right? That was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That was Sam Gagner, Evan Bouchard, Matthias Ekholm. McDavid and Draisaitl were nowhere to be seen. Then they go out and the Oilers can't score. They get some good opportunities. Shut down McDavid, man. Because this is unfair to him. We cannot be running him out here.
Give him time to rest. Whatever,
a month off for him.
Whatever is happening to him, right? Like, this season's wash at this point. Here's the situation, right? We have so many. We're all armchair experts, right? But we very clearly verified that whoever is running the Oilers, everyone in management right now, is no expert. They're absolutely atrocious. But you know who are experts, Zach?
Who?
Our friends. Sign up expert. The NHL season's heating up, and there's never been a better time to get in on the action. Whether you're looking to hammer home and Leon Draisaitl anytime goal or ride the puck line with the Edmonton Oilers, our partners at Sign Up Expert want to make sure you're ready to sweat your bets with one of the best.
Sign Up Expert is hooking up our listeners with one of the newest sports books available in Canada, Betano. Betano is home to some of the best odds when it comes to betting on the NHL and offers unique markets, including virtual soccer and basketball.
All you have to do to get started is scan that QR code on your screen or click the link in the description to register and place your first bet. If you thought Jack Campbell ending up on waivers was the best surprise of the season so far, wait until you try Betano.
You heard the man. Don't walk, run to check out Betano today. Scan that QR code or hit the link in the description below to get started and start sweating your bets with the best.
And always remember to bet responsibly and within your means. Viewers must be 19 plus to sign up for Betano.
Welcome back. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Look, let's be honest, right? We're on the topic of McDavid before we hopped into it, a little ad break. McDavid is obviously hurt, and he didn't look good. He hasn't looked good for a couple of games now.
Dude, he's 70th in the NHL in points or something. They put a graphic up against in the broadcast. Like, he's not healthy, and that's okay if you have to rest Connor McDavid. McDavid shouldn't be responsible for single-handedly carrying this team to victories. They should have a team that, without Connor McDavid, centered by Leon Draisaitl and Evander Kane and Zach Hyman and Ryan Hopkins, and the list goes on, that is able to beat teams like the San Jose Sharks, like the Philadelphia, like the Oilers have had an easy schedule when you think about it. Besides Vancouver, who has been awesome, and Patrick Demko is stealing them games left, right, and center, and obviously they are the opposite of the Oilers, where they're putting everything in the back of the net. They just haven't gotten anything, and the Oilers, they should be good enough to overcome this. Like they should, for a stretch of period of time, let McDavid get healthy, let Ekholm get healthy. And Ekholm, again, he's looking better. Is he feel like he's a step behind skating-wise? Yes. But like you saw his play, you can still see the smarts on the 3-2 goal that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scored. That was a lot of that was Matthias Ekholm. He's gone better. But McDavid, obviously, like they just rely so much on Connor McDavid. And he is the best player in the world when he's healthy, obviously, far and away the best player in the world. But like they should be good enough to let him go out and get healthy, because what they're doing now is essentially running him out, making him this injury, whatever it is, whatever these multiple injuries are,
making it
last longer. It's getting worse. It's not that you're never going to succeed like this. You're just running into the ground. I see people talking about Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane will never go to a team that's 2-9-1.
Yeah, well, what are the hopes of him coming up to snowy Edmonton and deciding, this team still has a cup chance?
The Oilers were goalied this year by Jonathan Quick, by Scott Wedgwood, by Kevin Lankinen,
Mackenzie Blackwood.
Like the list goes on and on. And I'd be so happy if Mackenzie Blackwood was the Oilers goalie. But like, oh my God, does Ken like at the end of the day, Jay Woodcroft, I think we both agree, has coached his last, like he looked so sad on the Oilers bench. And I just want to say, I do believe that like that firing Jay Woodcroft is the wrong move in the sense that he doesn't deserve it. Is this
it's the wrong move?
Absolutely not. But here's the thing. I'm not going to say it's the wrong move, because this, like, the way you get this team going, and obviously they're 2-9-1, they're 7 wins below 500 at this point. So there still is there's a major hill to climb to even get back up to 500. But when you fire Jay Woodcroft, you're changing things up. Obviously, you're implementing new systems. Everyone gets a new burst of life into them, a new burst of energy. Is it his fault? Should he be fired? I don't think so. But at the end of the day, at this point, he's got to go.
But here's the situation, right?
But Holland does first. Holland's fault.
You fire Holland before he can fire Woodcroft. And look, here's the situation. You fire Woodcroft, great. As Brian Burke so famously likes to say, you get a dead cat bounce. The Oilers come back and they do great for 10, 20 games. Is it too late now? Like, look at
this, but you got to remember, this isn't the Vancouver Canucks of last year. This isn't the Columbus Blue Jackets who have fired their coach. This isn't the New York Islanders. This dead cat, you're giving a team a dead cat bounce with McDavid and Draisaitl, with Bouchard, with all of these great players who just haven't shown up so far this year. Like, if you look at the depth, Ryan Nugent scored about his third goal of the season. Kane has 3 goals this year. McLeod 0, Brown 0, Holloway 0. Like Fogle has 3-4 goals. Like it's just not enough scoring all the way around. And when the top guys aren't scoring as well, obviously you're going to see this. But like this dead cat bounce is not a normal dead cat bounce, because this team, again, they went 17-2 after the trade deadline. They could easily go on a run, but you need a goalie. You need a goalie. You need finishers. Like it might be just as dire, because you look at the goals saved above expected is just as important as the expected goals. And they're generating the expected goals every night to win the game. The thing is, they're not finishing. They have no one. It's lethargic. Like you see on the power play, McDavid sets up Hyman and Hyman puts it wide. I don't know if he tipped it wide, but everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. I don't even know how to. I don't know what to say.
How many times tonight were you looking at the Oilers crowding the front of the net, pass it back to someone on the blue line? They take a shot. It ends up right on someone's back, right? It hits Warren Fogle in the back and the play goes the other way.
You're passing it right into the stick blade of a San Jose Sharks player, and the Sharks get a rush the other way, and you guys don't know how to play in the neutral zone, and it turns into a Sharks odd man rush. When Fabian Zetterlund is putting your decor in a blender the way he did tonight, it is unacceptable. You are not NHL players if this is how you're going to behave against the 31st now overall San Jose Sharks. Like this is like a monumental failure. We have witnessed the collapse of Oilers hockey in Edmonton. Like there is no more rock bottom than where we are right now. This is it.
I tweeted a little bit earlier in the second intermission. What could you possibly do? The Oilers, what could they come out in 20 minutes and do to make you think, you know what, this team has life? I have faith in this team again. And the overall resounding answer was literally nothing. They could have scored 10 goals in the third period and blown out the Sharks from that point on. But if you're still taking 20 minutes out of a 60-minute game to blow up the Sharks of all teams, that's not good enough, right? This is unacceptable no matter what. The Oilers are there's nothing that they can do to save the season, to restore the faith in this whole cup or bust mentality. I'm happy if they make the playoffs now.
Well, dude, I'm happy if they win a game. Like, literally, I'm happy if they win another game. But I just am reading Twitter, and 2 things. Someone put a stat on Twitter and said, in the last 9 games, McDavid and Draisaitl have combined for 1 goal. Think about that. Think about that. These 2 guys who can be 2-point-per-game players have combined for 1 goal. Like, obviously, unfortunately, that's also a lot of where it lies. And again, I'll never pin it on them. When they leave Edmonton, because this is like a monumental car driving off a bridge collapse, like worse than anyone could have ever imagined. So if, that situation were to play out, I'm following them. I'm cheering for them for the rest of their careers. I think I'm more of McDavid and Draisaitl fans than I am an Oilers fan at this point, because they like, I don't even know what to say. Like what the garbage, the mismanagement, the years of messing up over and over repeatedly, mistake, building on mistake, and you're living in a house of cards. And this season, it just all toppled over. It just wasn't enough to sustain. And there's people talking about reading Jay Woodcroft's lips on Twitter. And it looks like he walked over to Dave Manson. He said, that might be a big man. And Dave Manson said, yep, which makes me feel really sad, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, like, what can you do?
Look, courtesy of Zach Lang on Twitter, you can check it out. I just reposted it on my Twitter. Look, you can see, because the San Jose visiting locker room is on the other side of the ice, the Oilers literally have to walk across the entire ice surface pretty much to get to their locker rooms. You can see Woodcroft just strolling side by side with Dave Manson, and if you read his lips, it says that might be it. Manson very clearly says, "Yup," in return. Oh, but the situation
they don't deserve it.
They don't deserve it. The goalie
needs
coach
to happen though.
Dustin Schwartz has been here for 10 years.
He'll be gone too.
He's got great. Get rid of him. Get rid of Holland. Get rid of Bob Nicholson. Look, this entire organization needs an overhaul. And I've been watching this team for a while, right? You mentioned following McDavid and Draisaitl if they decide to leave Edmonton. I've never been in this position. I've watched this team through some dark, horrendous years. When they were wearing, this jersey over here, but there's just something about this season in 12 games. In 12 games, they've destroyed all faith I've had. Coming into this season of Game Over, we've talked about it. I've tried to say, you know what, I'm going to be as positive as I can. I'm going to try and keep myself just looking on the bright side no matter what happens. And in 10 games, they've managed to just destroy me, just wreck everything I had faith in.
Just remember when we were bitching about Jesse Pugliarvi. Do you remember when we were bitching about Ken Holland saying, "Oh, it's no, you have to pick and choose when you
can't go every year."
No, and you look at what happened, you dumb fuck. Look at what happened. Your patience. Look at where it got us, you idiot. That's the guy who should be wearing all this. He deserves everything. We need to change his locks, lock him out of his house, lock him out of the office, banish him from the city. I want his picture posted at the airport in Leduc. I don't want him ever allowed back in Edmonton.
The no-fly list in Edmonton.
Yeah, literally on a watch list. Like that. The mismanagement that has unfolded before our eyes is unforgivable, and so many people saw it coming, and the Oilers were too stupid and too condescending and too toxic to think any differently. They thought that they knew what was best, that they had fucking old Dutch 14 cups in 1962 in charge, and that he was going to lead them to the promised land. And look at what he did. Look at the decor that he assembled, the faith that he put into Jack Campbell. Still, when he had his meeting today or yesterday, when they sent down Jack Campbell, when they waived Jack Campbell, Ken Holland met with him and said, "Play like you're coming back. Like we might need you this season again, Jack Campbell." And people said like the ideal situation for the Oilers is, "Oh, Jack Campbell just goes down and plays really well." Are you sick in the head?
Insane thinking.
We watched Campbell from 100 games. He was an Edmonton Oiler through the playoffs and this season and last season. And there was never 10 minutes where I was like, "Oh, thank God, Jack Campbell's in Edo. We're not going to let it go on." That feeling that you felt with Cam Talbot in 16-17 was never there. And he was paid for him to stop pucks and paid to be a starting goalie and paid for him to give us that feeling of, okay, we have a goalie. We have someone who could let that out. And that was not there. And did you see, what do you have, like a 700 save percentage in his first AHL game? Letting the absolute stinkers.
4 goals on the first 15 shots. What? Unbelievable. Unexcusable. He's making $5 million a year. He signed a $25 million contract. They had the buyout opportunity.
Wage theft. $50 million stolen from Daryl Cates between Jack Campbell and Ken Holland. Alex Chason, wage theft. Zach Kassian, wage theft. Dare I say Darnell Nurse? I don't know. I don't even want to go there. Like, I don't want to rag on these guys because I know Nurse is capable of playing better than he has. Like, these guys are all better skaters. They are all better than what we've seen. But, like, this is just I don't know what words to use to describe the situation that this team is in. 2-9-1. They weren't this bad when they won Nail Yakupov. They weren't this bad when they won Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Taylor Hall, Leon Draisaitl, go up and down the list. They were not this bad. I've never seen a lack of effort from an Oilers team like this, a lack of finish. The passing is non-existent on the power play. They literally cannot get the seam pass to Draisaitl. They cannot string 2 passes together. It is unbelievable. It's like I'm watching Greg McKegg play and not Connor McDavid. And I understand McDavid's hurt, and I just hope they sit him out finally and say, "You know what? We rushed you back for the Heritage Classic. Take your time, get better." When you're 100%, when McDavid is 100%, he's a 2-point per game player. Him and Leon Draisaitl. McDavid at 153 and Draisaitl 128 points. They have one combined for 1 goal in the last 9 games. I did not think that was ever possible. Ever possible. I don't know how. I'm sure Jeff Jackson probably regrets leaving his agency now to come here and be the president of the Oilers. Like, what a tire fire. Man, do I feel bad for guys like Jay Woodcroft, because, like, again, we can agree, not his fault in the grand scheme of things, but, like, he sure didn't help. A lot of questionable decisions, relying way too much on the McDry, kind of the same thing that we saw with Hitchcock and we saw with McClellan and we saw with Dave Tippett. He fell in that same trap. Oh man, it's just what can you say? Like what do we even look forward to this year? Like what is there to be optimistic about? Like do they trade for a goalie here? Do they like? And again, I'm in team overpaid. Their first round pick will never be more valuable than it is now, because right now they're on pace to have the best odds at the first overall pick. If you trade that unprotected first round pick for a UC Saros, for example, and I know Nashville says they're not trading him, but trust me, guys, that's leverage. Nashville is in a rebuild. The Oilers are a cup pretender, or whatever you want to call them.
Look,
like, yeah.
Here's the situation, right? How hilarious is it if we manage to get Celebrini again, and then 4 years later we're playing in the Butterdome?
I'm just telling you, if this season unfolds the way that it seems like it is going to unfold, with the Oilers getting a top 3 pick in the draft, I don't think Celebrini will be on a line with McDavid and Draisaitl. Like, there is no chance. Leon Draisaitl you can sign Leon Draisaitl to an extension on July 1st. There is zero chance Leon Draisaitl re-signs with this team playing like this. Like,
at this
zero
pace.
Chance. So, and is anyone in Edmonton prepared for a rebuild? Like, Ken Holland, no joke. The Oilers are valued as the 8th most valuable franchise in the NHL, just behind the Philadelphia Flyers. 1.3 billion, something like that, 1.4 billion. If they fuck this up and they lose McDavid and Draisaitl, that franchise value plummets. Like, $500 million plummets. Like, I think they might sell for the same price as the Ottawa Senators at this point. I'm not a financial analyst. I don't know. I can say for sure, if they fuck this up, I will never watch those. Like, I'm done. If you can't win with this team, with these 2 guys, you will never be able to win ever. We saw you got gifted 2 generational superstars, and the dumb fucking charge is like, oh, you can't go all in. You can't go all in. You can't go all in.
We can't surround them with competent defensemen. We can't
trade your first round pick. No,
we can't give them competent goaltending.
4th. Like, every decision was the wrong one. I don't even know how that's possible. I don't know how it's possible. Woodcroft's done. I guarantee you we'll get an announcement at some point. I think Holland will be done at some point. They're gonna make. I want to call it a panic trade. It is a panic trade, but they're necessary. They have to happen. They're trades that have to happen. They're gonna look a lot different probably in a couple weeks. I'm not excited for the game against Seattle. Thank God, me and you don't have to do that one.
Yeah, thank God.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to look forward to. I don't know what to talk about.
Look,
this is a level of failure unheard of, like, in sports, worse than the LA Angels. Like, I don't know how to, like, I don't know how you come back from this.
And there's historic collapses, but none like this. When you have arguably, many people will say, the 2 best players in the NHL, when they were gripping it and ripping it, holy moly, McDavid and Draisaitl were undoubtedly the best 2 players in the NHL. And
they still are. Like,
they're just not playing right now.
They're not. There's something wrong. To quote Kevin Lowe, the great Kevin Lowe, there's something in the water. I think that was him that said that.
I think so. But
yeah,
look, what was it? What was it that broke this team? Was it losing to Vegas? Was it
losing? This is the thing.
Losing to the Canucks?
Every team that beats the Oilers is going to sit there and say, oh, we broke the Oilers. We broke the Oilers. Dog, I hate to break it to you, and I admire the passion. I admired the dunking on the Oilers. The Oilers broke the Oilers. Like, I mean, if losing to Vegas didn't make them sign Jack Campbell, it didn't make them want to keep Jack Campbell. They believe that they were this good. They believe that, no, everyone else is wrong and we're right about everything. Like, this is their fault. They broke themselves. The management put them in this position. It's not a single loss. If anything, those losses motivated the core guys, the main guys. But outside of that, you can't sit here and say, because they lost to Vancouver 8-1 or 6-2 that broke the team. Like, those were atrocious losses. Like, full credit to Vancouver. They slapped the Oilers. I mean, I don't think it's as big of an accomplishment as it once was, because the Oilers are a dog shit hockey team. But, like, I don't think Woodcroft broke the Oilers. I saw Dacky make a good point in chat, but it's just moving so fast. I completely missed
It's a
it.
wild night. I mean, I just refreshed the page. We're still like over 600 people.
Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead, hit like one more time. Again,
Hit
we really
like.
appreciate it. It's literally the only positive thing I have in my life. Like literally.
214 likes already. We are 40 minutes into the show and we have 214 likes.
And you know what's funny? When Ken Holland was hired, the wish list, the shopping list was, you know what, they're probably a top 4D, a third line center, and a starting goalie away from being a Stanley Cup contender. And we sit here 4 years later with that exact same shopping list.
We said that 4 years in a row.
Like, how unbelievably atrocious and disgusting. Like, how bad do you have to be at your job to have that? Like, well, I didn't have much cap space, so I didn't have much cap space, so I didn't have much cap space. You know who else didn't have much cap space? 31 other NHL teams did not have
it's
much
not
cap
an
space.
excuse. Just because just because you GM'd teams that were around before the whole salary cap was a thing is not an excuse for, we were cap crunch. We couldn't do a whole lot. We had a really rough offseason. We only could do a couple of moves. It was dollar in, dollar out.
Andreas Athanasiou, and you made a trade. You made a trade before COVID, and you let that scare you away from making trades. And you spent the last 2 years being afraid of going all in. You had to be forced. You had to have your back against the wall and were forced to trade your first round pick by other people in the Oilers Bass last year to get Matthias Ekholm. And look at how good that made them. You can bring in other players. You had the opportunity so many different times, and you were so stubborn, and you refused. You absolutely refused to do anything. And you probably have cost Edmonton, McDavid, and Draisaitl. Like, I cannot believe that we are here now.
I don't think anyone could have foreseen this, right? Not at the beginning of this season, not at the beginning of last season, not when we were interviewing with the SDPN crew. We would not think 2023, November the 9th, this fan base would be crushed. This fan base would have no faith. We would be at the bottom of the standings. And at the same time, McDavid and Draisaitl still playing. Are they healthy? Not 100%. But you know what? Even if they're not healthy, if they're playing, you would have expected this team to be middling. And in 1 month in, we have lost all faith in this team making any sort of run.
They need to go on a monumental pace to make the playoffs now. They have to play at almost President's Trophy level. Like, they needed to go something like 45, 19 and 2. What?
I'm going to steal this from Jake in chat, who stole this from Reddit. After the start to the season tonight, the Oilers have to play the remaining 70 games at a 105-point pace.
Which they are capable of doing, right? But the thing is, you see the effort from Draisaitl on the first goal, and I hate pinning defensive mistakes on Draisaitl because he makes up for it by so much and more offensively. But this season, he just hasn't been. Like I've never seen. Like, it's so weird. It's like Steve Dangle sits there and talks about David Kampf getting monstered, and you watch Leon Draisaitl on the flank, on the power play, taking the one-timers and not hitting the net once in the last 4 games. Like, where did your ability go? What happened, man? What happened? You're so good, and you see it in flashes again, and then it just disappears. I get that he has to carry around Warren Fogle and Dylan Holloway, who will actually put in effort, but again, no finish. They don't have guys that finish an above average amount of chances. It's just nothing. You're getting nothing from your forwards. You get nothing from your defensemen, and you're getting absolutely negative nothing from your goaltending. Like, they're not helping you out at all. Not at all. I cannot believe that we are here. I actually don't. I wish I had more to say. I wish we could go and talk about the game and about how the Oilers are dominating 5-on-5 every opponent they play, how they just can't convert, how it's PDO, how it's going to turn around. I don't believe that anymore. I need to see results. They need to go on a run. And again, I know we say the season's over. I know, but there's part of me, I wish I could let the hope die. It'd be easier for me to watch the games if I could let the hope die, but it's not like watching Ottawa in the bottom third of the league with Hoffman and Stone or whatever. As
The fact that we're still constantly getting 40 shots every single game, deserve a winometer like 70% in the Oilers' favor every single game, PDO'd to hell, and at the same time, just I've never felt this hopeless as an Oilers fan. Right? Like, this is the most defeated because we're supposed to be good.
The weirdest troll I've ever seen. I hope McDavid resigns for max salary. Ha ha ha.
I hope he resigns. I hope he resigns for max salary.
I'll take that gladly. Give me McDavid and Draisaitl on max salary. I watched 17-18. I watched 18-19. That wasn't worse than this. So yeah, and Alwyn in the chat, if Sam Gagner is in the top 6, you have a chance of Macklin Celebrini. And you know what? You're not wrong. Is it cool seeing Sam Gagner back? And I'm sure he actually feels younger than ever. New hip surgery, Oilers losing. It's like 2012-13. It's like he never left.
It's like he never left at all. He's just a little older now. I think we'll do one question for the presser, Zach. I mean, I don't want to think about it, but we have to, right? Draisaitl this summer. What's it gonna pan out like? How is this gonna look?
I try and re-sign him again. We're 12 games and fucking whatever. Like, it's tough. It's really tough because you see Leon, see how he is. You see the attitude he has, the swagger that he carries himself when he's at his best. I just like.
When you look at Leon and you see pissy Leon, right? That gives you hope as an Oilers fan. When you see pissy Leon just snarking at reporters, when you see him just shutting people down, when you see him talking to rookies on the ice and being like, hey, you know what? Earn some fucking money before you start talking to me, kid. Like, that's a very different Leon than what you're seeing now.
One of my favorite players in the NA, like one of my favorite players of all time is Leon. I'll be sad if he doesn't re-sign, but I'll understand it. I mean, this is the Oilers doing. I don't think like you see those memes like, oh, I don't think I'll ever financially recover. The Oilers will never financially recover from this. Like, Oilers fans are some of the best fans in the league. They just believe nonstop, even in the darkest of circumstances. They care about their team so much. How many other cities are on August 7th are yelling and screaming about Adam Party signing with the Bakersfield Condors? How many fan bases are debating Click Crazy, Jujhar Khaira on August 17th? Playing on the fourth line right wing in 2016 when you haven't made the playoffs in however many years, 7 years. They had a solid streak of like 10 years. They didn't make the playoffs once. Oilers fans are some of the best fans in the NHL. I don't know if you can recover from this. I really don't think you can recover from this. Like, this is like fold the franchise type fuck up here.
Of failure. If you waste the McDavid Draisaitl, because if Draisaitl doesn't,
you don't get better.
If Draisaitl doesn't resign, McDavid's not resigning, right? That's clear.
Then they're trading McDavid, and I go wherever he goes because I cannot watch. Like if they had competent management, they had guys like Don Waddell in Carolina, and I know Carolina's gone fucked with their goalie situation. At least they tried to fix it. Like they had competent management. They had a management group like New Jersey. They had competent people that were putting players in positions to succeed, bringing in players who perform above average, who perform above expectations, finding the next Clem Costins, finding above average finishers at low market value. They haven't done any of that. Like there is potential to have a team of 12 Adam Ernies next year. Like how many guys like Ty Ratty do you have to cycle through on McDavid's line? Like, you look at some of the lines that McDavid had to put up with Ty Ratty and Jesse Puljujarvi and Milan Lucic and Alex Chason and Gaetan Haas and Joachim Nygaard and just like the cast of misfits that they had to deal with on this team and just
inexcusable.
Nothing.
Just unexcusable.
I feel so bad. Like, I don't know what to say. And I don't know how it got this bad. I don't know how it got this. This is an all-time low. I've never felt worse.
I've never felt worse. And at the same time, apparently, the stream has never been better. Because we're literally 50 minutes in. There's still 597 of you watching us wallow. There's only 260 likes in chat. If you guys are fans of the show, if you want to see us suffer for the another 70 games this season, click that like button, click subscribe to the SDPN. We're gonna start wrapping it up here. I know I said I would only do one presser question, but I want to do one more. How do you fix the Oilers if you're the GM, says Hockey Guy 2006? You know what, Zach? You might be the GM. We'll give it until Saturday.
What? Did Holland get fired?
I'm hoping that Holland gets fired. They pull up the stream. They message you directly and they
Bob
say
Nicholson on the street. I want to see Paul Coffey's resume on Indeed. I want to see everyone who is in upper management in this organization out of a job, because it is so wildly unacceptable. It is so disgusting. The amount of narcissism and fucking idiocy that goes on in that Oilers front office. The fact that McDavid had to deal with this is a joke. It is a joke.
How many years?
I hope for a miracle. And when the Oilers got Connor McDavid, that was a miracle.
That was a miracle. 2015?
They can pull it.
Wow.
Can they pull it off again? I wish I didn't have belief. I wish I didn't have faith. I wish I wasn't gonna sit down on the couch on Saturday and yell and scream and hope they beat the Seattle Kraken, but I'm going to.
We're gonna hope, because that's all we can do right now.
Jackie says it feels like an end of an era. Like, we are watching this in real time. We are watching a car crash.
Have you ever watched just a train ram into a motor vehicle? That's what's happening right now. But we will be back Saturday, November the 11th. It's gonna be a holiday, so tune in. What else are you gonna be doing on Saturday night? It's 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're going to be in Seattle. Avery will have the show for you that night. Hopefully you guys show up in droves that night too. But I have a feeling if the Oilers win, you aren't going to be here. And that's okay with me too.
Oh yeah. Give me another 40 people watching now stream. I will gladly take that. Oh, I need it for my heart.
To end the night, just wanted to thank you guys, all 500 something, 600 of you. If you were in and out, if you were listening after the fact, the next morning,
300 likes,
almost 300 likes.
Let's get to 300, guys. Come on.
If you're listening to this podcast on the audio form, if you're driving to work the next day, or if you're having lunch or whatever, now mosey on over to our YouTube channel, click the like button. It really, really helps us cope with what's happened here tonight. We're gonna call it a night here. Thank you so much, Zach. Where can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at zwheel97. And Dennis, where can they find you?
They can find me at Dennis Lee YEG. That's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for being here.